If we get all settled down here, please. We're starting for the roast here of Greg Thompson.
Lights.
We did the lights.
For you teachers out there, 2 fingers, quiet. Okay, before we get started tonight, just reminded everyone that this is a roast, meaning there will be some foul language, some naughty, dirty jokes about Mr. Thompson here. So anyone that may be offended, please go out in the parking lot or go fuck yourself.
That's it.
But really though, everyone here should have a drink in their hand. I promise all of these jokes will be better if everyone's having a drink. And I'm not sure if you were told, but at 8:30 tonight, this becomes a cash bar. So make sure you get your drinks now. No, I'm only kidding. I don't know who just got paler, Craig or Johnny Moe. But first, I was asked by myself basically to host this tonight. You know, there were a lot of options to host this party tonight. We thought maybe we'd get a childhood friend of Greg's to host this, so I immediately suggested Paul Flynn. I thought would be a great host. But I figured Groucho Marx talked more in his movies than Paul does. So. And then I thought Greg Hazeman would be a great choice as well, but I know how Megan has to approve everything he says, so it might take 2 hours tonight to get through this, so that wouldn't work. And then I thought Matt Bruno would be a great option, but then Ben would get offended. And you know how the Brunos fight, and I've seen the fantasy football draft, so I didn't want to have a whole brawl here tonight. So I figured I'd pick the small straw. I'd take care of the hosting tonight. So first, I want to thank Elise and Linda, the 2 women in Greg's life, the most important women. Actually, the only women in Greg's life. We know it's not easy putting a party together. Now I have here the invitation for tonight, and I want to talk to whoever was in charge of putting this invitation together. Elise.
Sarah left. Oh.
You put out an invitation, and there's not even the name of the person whose party it is on the invitation. Who the fuck does that? It doesn't say the 30th birthday. It doesn't say his name. And it actually has a really creepy picture. Greg, did you see this yet? Greg's in some kind of disguise, and Greg, do you try not to get laid? So, we don't have his name on the invitation. It's him in a disguise. I actually left this invitation on my kitchen counter, and my dad came over and thought I knew someone in the witness protection program. But regardless, the idea to hold a roast here tonight is an awesome idea. I want to thank whose idea it was to do a roast. Elise? Let's have an applause for Elise, because a roast is a great idea. You know, all week I've been telling my good buddy Pete Panicky we're having a roast here tonight, and as soon as he walked in the building, he said, "Where the fuck's the pig?" But you know, for those of you who don't know me and my relationship with Greg, you know, we both work together. I have a home office back in Nassau County. You know, Nassau, the part of Long Island where we have running water in every house and where you don't have to shoot your dinner in the backyard every night. Well, every day Greg comes to my home, and honestly, I take some of the responsibility of why Greg is still single and has no kids. So Linda, I apologize.
You should. You
You know, I have 3 beautiful children, all 7 and under, and obviously a loving wife sitting right in the front there. But I have to say, coming to my fucking house every day has got to be birth control for Greg. In fact, it's got to be marriage control as well. You know, Greg must drive home every day and say, "Thank God I'm as fucking pathetic as my friend Dino." You know, I first became friendly with Greg, it had to be 15 or 16 years ago. And I was building a hockey team. I wanted to find the good young stud in the area. And I got to meet Greg. And when you met Greg 15 years ago, he was that kid you instantly fell in love with. He was this tall, lanky, friendly kid. Everyone loved him.
Unless you're a woman.
He loved roller hockey so much. He spent a lot of his free time on his computer. He lived at home. He was single. So obviously a lot has changed over the last 15 years. But honestly, what can I really say about Greg without totally embarrassing him too much? Can I talk about how he never gets laid? I mean, that wouldn't be right to talk about that in front of all his friends and family. Should I talk about how he's infatuated with his penis? How he strips naked as soon as we get to the hotel room or on the road? How he sleeps in the nude even when he's sharing a room with old guys? I mean, I can't do that to him. But I have to talk about how he's infatuated with really fat women. I mean, for those who don't know it, it really is amazing how much this guy loves fat chicks. I mean, the only way I was able to convince Greg to come here tonight was to tell him that VFW stood for very fat women. But you know, I would be remiss if I didn't speak about some of Greg's amazing accomplishments. You know, Greg, for those who don't know, he went away to school for 4 years on a full college scholarship to Missouri, to Lindenwood University. He actually played with one of our roasters here, Travis Pekina, for a time when he was there.
Yeah, Travis.
You know, the only difference between Greg and Travis at school was Greg came home with a degree in 4 national championships. Travis came home with a degree in 4 DWIs.
Oh, Daytona Thunder.
And what's most amazing and impressive about Greg's scholarship is it wasn't even for real hockey on ice, it was for roller hockey. And for those that don't know roller hockey, to talk about how incredible it is that Greg got a scholarship for roller hockey, it's amazing. And I'm just going to give a couple of analogies of what an amazing accomplishment this is for Greg. I mean, there's a better chance of Adrian Peterson opening up a daycare in Bayport than Greg getting a scholarship for roller hockey.
Too soon.
There's a better chance of Chiza being on the cover of Muscle and Fitness next month than for Greg to get a college scholarship. There's a better chance of Jack being allowed within 100 feet of Chuck E. Cheese than Greg getting a college scholarship. Oh, maybe that's I went a little too far with that. But you guys get the point. You know, I have the honor of being around Greg probably more than anyone in his life. You know, we spend 8 hours a day, multiple weekends on the road, traveling. So I'm around Greg. Other than the bottle of Vaseline and those sticky big and fat mags under his back bed at home, I probably see Greg more than anybody. So when you're around someone as much as I am with Greg, you start to see little tendencies about a person. One might call it a tick, a twitch, just something weird about someone that you see quite often that he doesn't even realize is going on. Well, what we learned a couple of years ago when we were away running one of our hockey tournaments is that Greg has one of those ticks. For him, whenever he's talking to a female customer, he starts to play pocket pool. And for those of you who don't know what pocket pool is, he basically puts his hand in his pocket as he's talking to the person. And he starts playing with his balls. He really does. Now, Greg is an amazing pocket pool player. I'd say he's the Michael Jordan of fucking pocket pool. But boy, is it scary. And the craziest part is he doesn't even realize he's doing it. It came to a point at our hockey tournament, which we call State Wars, where I had to have Greg sew all his pockets shut, so he couldn't even put his hands in his pockets anymore. But this is how I know Greg seriously has a problem. We were driving home from our tournament to the airport, and the entire ride home for 20 minutes we busted his balls, no pun intended, Greg, about his infatuation with playing with his balls as he's talking to female customers. And of course he denied it, as he always does. But we ribbed him the entire way, and it went on and on and on. And as soon as we parked the car, we got out, and Greg wanted to bring the keys back to the budget lady. And Ryan, you were there, right, Ryan? Okay, so this is a true story. Ryan wouldn't lie. No sooner were we out of the fucking car that we're looking at Greg, and he's talking to the budget lady about, did you damage the car? How was your trip? What went on in the area? What'd you guys do here? And he's fucking playing with his balls in his pocket. And as his friend, his confidant, as his boss, that's when I started realizing he has a fucking problem. So tonight when you're talking to Greg and you're having a good laugh, or you're watching from afar, just look at his hands and see if he's reaching in his pockets and see if he's playing with his balls. I'm willing to bet he will. But in all seriousness, tonight I'm actually honored to be a part of this special day for Greg. He really is an amazing son, brother, and friend to so many. I am sure of everyone here tonight, there's at least 10 different guys here that think that Greg is their best friend. And that is a tribute to the kind of person Greg truly is. Either that or he's a great bullshitter. But either way, I'm so happy to be here. I love Greg with all my heart. Happy birthday to him, and I hope to be doing this at his 40th. Happy birthday, Greg. So our first speaker tonight is someone that's known Greg for a long time, Ryan Carey. Ryan is an elementary school teacher in the area, which every day makes me consider homeschool for my kids. But he's a great guy, great hockey player. He's obviously very handsome. Pam, you know that, right, Pam? Where's Pam? And I'm going to pass this off to Ryan, and I'm sure he's going to do a great job here for us. Let's hear it for Ryan.
Put another hand for Timmy. That was awesome, huh? How do you follow that up?
You don't. Let's leave. Mark?
Well, anyway, this whole thing, it's pretty ridiculous. My name's Ryan. For those of you who don't know me, I've known Greg for like 20 years. Before I begin my roast, I wanted to say a few nice things. I truly consider Greg a great friend. And like Timmy said before, everybody who knows Greg considers him a great friend. He's kind of like a male version of 27 Dresses. To talk about Greg, he's a thoughtful, reliable, easygoing, and a great time. He's always the first one to do something fun, whether it's paintballing, rafting, camping, whatever we're doing, skiing. He's always down. He's always down for a good time. When I was asked to speak tonight, it was a very tough thing to think about. I was trying to think of a good story. I was thinking about the time I thought Greg killed somebody.
Christina, raise your hand.
The night his teeth got smashed. The night down at the docks at Seaman. Those are kind of inside stories, but But anyway, there's two things I'd like to talk about tonight. First of all is phone etiquette. Has anybody ever missed a phone call from Greg Thompson? Oh my God. Let me tell you. You check your voicemail the next day, 7 minutes. It's the same thing every time. Here we go. Big surprise. Then he says your name, Ryan Carey. Doesn't pick up his phone. What an asshole. So, you continue to listen to the message. 3 to 5 minutes of getting bantered and ripped apart, you know. You think at some point it's gonna say, hey, you know, I need a ride or whatever. It's nothing. He just says at the end, call me back, you know. That's it. Every single time. So the one thing that Timmy hit on, I guess it's hard to miss, is just talking about Greg's love life, you know. Everyone out there, all the guys, everybody has a different taste. Greg's always had 3 big things.
There we go.
Old, fat, ugly. You know,
Beauty's in the eye of the beer holder.
Wait for the rest of our speeches.
you know, for a single guy, women are kind of like fruit. Some people like the exotic ones, maybe like a coconut. Some people like them like a cantaloupe, juicy, fresh like a watermelon, sour like a lemon. Greg's kind of a little bit different. Like, if you dig through your refrigerator, you go into the bottom drawer. Greg kind of goes for that, like, rotten banana. The spots on it.
I can't wait to talk.
For those who know Greg, he's always preferred the hometown grape. Well, you know, I don't know. As a third grade teacher, we always kind of have like a psyche. And I've always blamed Greg. I kind of blamed hockey for his taste in women. You know, with hockey, you grow up, you learn, you say, hey, you know, it's all about being number one. Lindenwood, national championships, Team USA, snipers, Team New York, you know, state ward. It's all about being number one.
Dragons.
Well, they never won. But he's always taught that number one is where you want to be. That's the place to be, you know? And so, in the world of girls, though, it's quite opposite. Greg's always been going for ones, while the rest of the guys are going for tens. So anyway, Greg never really figured out in the world of, you know, girls who go, you know, 10, settle for a 7, you know. He's always been like, number one, man, gotta go for one. So, as a little birthday gift, I know he's busy, Tim, he's telling me you're working like a dog, you know. So he works for State Wars, big up and coming company, you know. So now that he's number one. So now that Greg's turning 30, I figured he's not gonna have as much time coming out. So I found him a good number one. Her name's Patty. We keep her at home. Fatty Patty. It's a special gift. I figured she'd be perfect for, you know, weekends during the week. Right up his alley, you know. If you notice, she's got a couple of tattoos.
And she's overweight. Big boobs.
Right up Greg's alley. Anyway, that's it for me. Good night. Thanks,
Let's hear it again for Ryan Carey. Great job there, Ryan. You know it's bad when Ray Rice can get a date every night, but Greg can't. Our next speaker here is Jeff Whitley. You know, and those that know Jeff, I coached Jeff for a long time way back, and besides being a great hockey player, you know, Jeff's he's a very shy, timid kind of guy. You know, I know with me as coaching, he always used to say he got very nervous when we were playing with the Snipers. But you get a couple drinks in Jeff, and you get him to a wedding and on the dance floor. He becomes a 21st century version of Pee Wee Herman. So if anyone's getting married in the future, he works cheap. And I would definitely suggest bringing Jeff around because he's a great time and a great guy. Let's bring him up here to talk about his good friend, Greg Thompson.
A lot more, Thompson.
Thank you all for having me up here today. I'm going to walk around a little bit. I'd like to have everybody a little interactive while I'm doing my speech. First of all, I'd like to thank Timmy. We all know he's had that same haircut since 1994. I'd love to know the address of it. We all know the zip code is 90210. But besides that, I'd like to thank Travis for coming all the way here from Connecticut. Travis came here, you know, how many miles did you drive, Travis? Well, we have a party basket for you at the front door. A puke bucket. I know, Timmy, he's staying at your house tonight, but I would suggest laying down a tarp on the bed just to make sure he doesn't wet himself. We also give you a package of Depends. But we also like to thank Mrs. Thompson for setting this evening up tonight. There were some long, sweaty, sleepless nights us setting this party up. And if you know what I'm saying, we were getting it on, me and Mrs. Thompson. Elise helped out a couple nights. I will say that too. But regardless, I would like to take a poll of everyone in the room tonight. Who in here thinks that Greg is a great person? I'd like to say that all the people with their hands down know him the best. He is fucking ruthless. Thinking that Greg is a great guy is like saying Craig ain't cheap. And Dina would pass a drug test. Like Ryan and Timmy had mentioned before about Greg's love life. Has anyone ever seen him here with a date? A girlfriend? No hands. Neither have I. I guess I really shouldn't say that because I have. I just haven't seen him with a girl his own age. Or his own weight. We all know Greg shares a love for older women, but I guess we could say that we share that in common. Right, Mrs. Thompson? We all know I sweat from time to time, and I'm very uncomfortable up here today, but either way, we're here today for Greg. Honestly, those are all my jokes. But I will say Greg is one of my best friends, and I love him to death. And we all know from time to time I go out and I'll have some drinks and...
Take your shoes off.
Yeah, I'll kick my shoes off. Greg will be always the first one to call me the next day, seeing how I'm feeling, seeing how I'm doing, but I love Greg to death, and happy birthday.
Let's hear it for Jeff Whitley there. Jeff, great job.
Worst team in the league.
If I would have known the spray on hair was the in thing, I would have done that tonight. I'm sorry. You know, our next speaker tonight, he's very nervous. I think he just wet himself. You know, if we ever held a roast for Travis Bukina, it would probably be a week long. This guy has seen more balls to his chin than Johnny Bench. Hence the nickname Teabag. And literally for the 45-minute drive out here tonight, I tried to give him jokes and what to say tonight, and he's still nervous. But let's give him a big round of applause. He's going to come up here and do a great job. Let's hear it for Travis Teabag Molina.
All right, so as everyone said, I'm very nervous right now. I've known Greg for about 13, 14 years.
Oh, like Elise said, big black thing at your mouth.
Like this? Okay. All right, sorry. I'm not really prepared like the rest of them, so I'm just going to go from my heart. And like I said, I've known Greg for a long time. We played hockey together. He was the best always. We all know that. No one ever thought they'd have a bag of milk for captain of Team USA, though. Did anyone ever see him with his shirt off? Seriously. These guys are talking about the girls he likes, but have you seen him? Well, like Timmy said, as soon as he gets to the hotel room, strips down so we all get to see it, so it's not the best. Like I said, I'm terrible, and so yeah, Greg helped me get to college about 8 years ago or so now. He also introduced me to whiskey, which, if anyone knows, is not my best friend. Yeah, so.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, basically, I don't really have anything, and Greg's an awesome guy, so sorry for wasting your time, and happy birthday, Greg.
Let's hear it for Travis. Greg had a lot of friends that didn't have the balls to get up here tonight. At least he came up for a few minutes and embarrassed himself. So let's hear it for Travis. And our next speaker is a friend of Greg's for many, many years, Dino Verone. Dino went bald in 3rd grade.
I was taller than you in 3rd grade too.
Dino's actually so bald when he wears a turtleneck, he looks like a broken condom. Just think about that for a minute. It's pretty good. But all jokes aside, out of all Greg's friends, Dino's honestly one of my favorites. I love Dino. He's always around for a good time. He never gets laid, just like Greg. Here we go, Dino Verone, everybody.
Let's give it up to Tim in his flowered collared shirt. I'm going to need everybody to look at the TV over there, because that's going to use part of my speech here.
Audio, visual.
So, you know, I met Greg, you know, we played hockey together at 15, we played against each other, really. Him, Jeff, and Paul, Conti, they were all together on a team with the Detroit Dragons. And I played with the Kraft Tech Crunch, if anyone remembers. Yeah, Ralph and, yeah, nobody remembers them. Smiley's all happy about his 45-year-old career, so we got a couple pictures of everyone together, and then this is Greg at his 16th birthday right here. It's coming up. I'm gonna go over here. So I met Greg playing against him in hockey, and Paul was the first guy to bring me out to Bruno's house. I get a phone call as we get this.
Sean, help him. Help him.
You want to just flip through this as I say. All right, so one day Paul invited me to hang out with everyone when I first joined the Dragons, and they said to come by Matt Bruno's house. So this is where, you already know where this is going. This is where this happened for Greg's 16th birthday party, under the instruction of Ryan Carey, Ben Bruno, all the older guys like Stig and all of them, Ryan. Here we go. So Greg looked up to me from an early age, watching on the bench while I played, obviously a lot right there. This is where I think he got the best of his career. Like when he was in awe watching us play hockey, I would give him pointers on how to be better. And then he got a signed thing from Tony Zabo. And that's what really got him going in hockey. That's what motivated him for his career for life. So, Tony Zabo, dear Greg, let me get to that. Okay. So then, Greg, from the motivation from Tony Zabo, worked real hard. This quote, this picture motivated him forever. This was on a ceiling wall. Eventually landed on the cover of Bender Hockey magazine. So that's where Greg got his first start. Through some hard hits, broken nose, lost teeth, face against the boards, Greg became a gold medal champion with Team USA. And as captain, played in front of thousands of fans. I know what you're saying. No one's there. No one's dressed in the seat night guys and there's fans there. I know. They were all on the other side of the rink, is what he said. So that's what he got. Yeah. They say it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert in anything you do. Greg has done that not only with hockey, but drinking. Cheers. But he got a lot of medicine after his gold medal game, too. Drinking and selfies. He takes a lot of selfies of himself. Oh, get ahead of yourself. Greg takes a lot of selfies. Some of us are privileged to get the ones while he's on the toilet, but hopefully not everyone gets those. Greg always likes to take things to the next level. Like the time that he dressed up as the Human Torch for Halloween, and then continued to be him for a few months. When it comes to partying, Greg, he knows how to get it going. Him and Whit, him, Kern and Conti, waving him again. Christian got beat up tonight, me and him. Whether it's playing a game of thumper on the dance floor, dressing up as a woman, or having some grandma cougars twerk on him. This is what he does. Right, here's another one. He just wants to have fun, and we all know that Greg likes mature women. One week, we were in Cancun one week, and everyone's hanging out with a bunch of 19, 20-year-olds, maybe 16-year-olds. But Greg had Greg's Angels the whole weekend. But all jokes aside, Greg is one of my best friends, like 10 other people will say. And, we both share something in common. We lost our fathers at a young age. But without a proper, upbringing from our parents and, the two beautiful, awesome women that we call our mothers, Linda Verone and Linda Thompson, and we can round of applause for them. But that goes for all of our friends tonight. Everyone has had their issues and bad choices, but because of our families and great friends, we've all become respectful, loyal, and humble, caring adults, and Greg embodies that more than anybody. Whenever I meet people that know Greg only through hockey, they always are happy about how humble he is. And you know what? Just because of things like this, he hears this every weekend from all of us. It's not just tonight. We all give each other shit, and we're all 100% real with each other at all times. And, raise your glasses and cheers up to the man of the hour. The tip's still short.
We all have that, half-retarded friend we cheer for all the time, right? Let's hear it for Dino again. That was a good job by Dino. Dino brought up a good point. I forgot about Greg's time with Team USA. Many people don't realize this, but Greg has been the captain for Team USA, the roller hockey team, for much of the last 10 years. So let's hear it for Greg for captain of Team USA. And that's really an honor. I mean, Greg has played against some hockey powerhouses in this world. I mean, Hong Kong, Team Ethiopia. I mean, Greg told me it wasn't the goaltender, it was the flies that were all around him the whole game that was really tough with that team. But next up here, we have another speaker. We like to call him Smiley. And anyone that's played on a hockey team with Smiley will know, watching him in goal, the fact that he keeps smiling is really impressive. I don't know an adult male that's taken more selfies than this guy playing goalie. And I played with him a tournament a few months ago, and he gave up about 25 goals on 17 shots. So the fact that he could take pictures of himself making great saves makes him, to me, the cameraman of the year. But honestly, he's a great guy, a good friend of Greg's. Let's bring him up here. Let's hear it for Smiley.
Oh, well, how did this all start? Well, I was at work last week, and I got a phone call on my cell phone, and a 516 number came up. I don't associate with 516 people. And I answered the phone reluctantly, and it was, hey, Smiley, Timmy. What's up, Timmy? Want me for another gold medal champion? No. I need some free legal advice. Can you help me out? I go, sure, I can help you out. By the way, I need you to speak at Thompson's 30th birthday party. Can you help me out with that too? Sure, I can help you with that too. What are we doing? We're doing a roast. We're doing a roast, Smiley. All right, you in for that? I go, all right, Timmy, I'm in for that. So I hang up the phone, and I'm sitting in my office. I'm like, all right, I'll speak for Thompson. And I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking, I'm like, what am I going to talk about? And I'm thinking, and he is one sick fuck. How am I even friends with this person? The things that I could even talk about in front of his mother. And my wife, and my friends, and I'm thinking, oh, the tournaments that we went to, and I've seen Thompson's white ass pumping profusely while I'm trying to sleep. But I said I couldn't talk about that because his mother would be there. Or that one tournament where me and Thompson met that hot Asian, and I wanted to bring her back, but I can't talk about that because my wife would be there. I'm like, there's just too many things I can't talk about. But at the end of the day, what I will talk about is Thompson is a great guy. And when we were for Greg Hazeman, Stick the Mud, we were at his bachelor party, and I had a story that was PG-13, and I could bring that story up. We had this van, and we had this crazy kid driving it, and we stopped at a gas station, and we thought it would be a good idea because Greg saw two fat chicks at the gas station, and he said, went up to him, started playing with his balls, and said, why don't you get in the van, we'll go for a ride? And they said, why not? So they get him in the van, and the two chicks are in the van, and it was short-lived as one threw up immediately in the right-hand corner of the van, and we immediately then kicked them out, and we continued our way to the hotel. I passed out. The next thing I know, the driver took a sharp left turn. I rolled into the throw-up, and all I hear is Thompson, Smiley, in the throw-up, Smiles.
Hey, you were in the throw-up.
I was in the throw-up. I wasn't in the throw-up. I was drenched in the throw-up. But but that's the type of guy Thompson is. He's the guy there that's always there to mock you, but always to be there to support you, and he's a great guy. And in the locker room, he's always there to cheer you up or pull out his cock and start stroking it. I mean, I can describe this guy's penis with such accuracy. It would be beyond approach. If there was a sketch artist here and that person robbed the bank, that penis would be picked up in 2 minutes. But I watched this kid grow up, from the Flyers and Face Off to the Dragons and his Burger King jerseys to going to Nationals, and he grew up to be a great man. And Ms. Thompson, you should be very proud. I'm proud of him. He's got a great cock. God bless him. Great Thompson.
I hope he's a better lawyer than he's a speaker. That's how. I actually hired him last week, and he said he worked for free, and I still think I overpaid him. In all seriousness, he's got a text. Is Steve Conte here? Steve, Willy Wonka just called. He said, "Don't drink too much. You got to be at work at 6 a.m. tomorrow." Mr. Mack, what are you laughing at? Hey, it's not too often I can make a short joke up here, so I'm going to take advantage of it. Our last speaker of the night, and I hate to see this night end, it's going so great, you know, but half of Greg's friends are pussies and they wouldn't speak tonight, so it's going to be short, is one of the most special women in Greg's life, Elise, his sister. And, you know, Elise really does deserve a lot of credit. You know, she was a little under the weather today. She wasn't going to show up. She had a slight case of jungle fever. So I think this microphone's going to feel really at home close to her mouth. So let's hear it for the woman who's got the same case as Kim Kardashian.